Welcome to DML Discovery Metal Legion. It is time to do something a little bit different on the channel. Yes, that's right, we're comparing albums to what is the most superior album. Yes, this is going to be a just smashing competition, pulse pounding competition. Today, we are up against the Dream Theater, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from Memory, and Queensrÿche, Operation Mindcrime. This is going to be a just head-to-head battle. This is going to be a fierce, bloody battle. I hope you all have come for the show, so grab some popcorn. We are going through these two albums on this brand new series called Albums versus Albums Head-to-Head. In DML fashion, we're going to get the editing overboard. So here's the scoreboard, 0-0 at the moment. Let's now talk about Dream Theater and Queensrÿche. So, Queensrÿche released their third studio album, Operation Mindcrime, on May 3rd, 1988. Whereas Dream Theater released Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from Memory 11 years later on October 26, 1999. So, there are no points for this round, but I gotta say the album cover for these two albums are really good, but I'm going to put a 1 point for Dream Theater's album cover, which is basically a mirage that is shaped like a face. And honestly, this is more intriguing. Although looking at the Queensrÿche album cover, it's like a revolution is calling. You got this whole revolution developing. Yes, it's pretty good, it's pretty fearsome, but I'm going to give 1 point to Dream Theater's Scenes from Memory just because it looks more, well, intriguing. So, 1-0. So let's talk about the overall production for these albums. Queensrÿche has a very 80s feel production just because it was released in 80. We're talking about two progressive metal band titans for this video. And production on Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from Memory is very good as well. But I'm going to say I do love the authentic raw production that Operation Mindcrime has. It's great. It produces this really overlaid atmosphere as well throughout this album. And honestly, it's just terrific. Guitar tone's fantastic. The drum tone is magnificent. The tone of the snare sounds absolutely fantastic on Operation Mindcrime. Although moving over to Scenes from a Memory, I feel like the production is very good, but it's not as good as Operation Mindcrime, to be honest. It's just that at times the drums feel slightly over compressed, and it doesn't have that echoey snare tone that we get from Operation Mindcrime. So I'm going to give Queensrÿche with production a 1 point. So we're now talking about the overall concept of these albums. In my opinion, these two albums are the best concept albums of all time. And therefore, that's why I'm giving 5 points for Dream Theater and also 5 points for Queensrÿche. So that makes it 6-all. But one story that is more intriguing in my opinion, it has to be the Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from a Memory. There are just so many layers upon layers of the story on Scenes from a Memory, and also the characters as well, which tell this really emotional story about a past life. The ending is just horrific. It blurs the line between the past life and modern life. So I'm going to give the edge to Dream Theater, so I'll give Dream Theater 2 points. So that leads to 8-6. The overall concept of Operation Mindcrime is fantastic, and you could tell that they do experiment throughout the storyline of Queensrÿche Operation Mindcrime. Absolutely adore it, love the story of it. Now let's go on with the vocal performance. So you got James LaBrie from Dream Theater, Metropolis Part 2 Scene from Memory, and you got Jeff Tate on vocals for Queensrÿche Operation Mindcrime. I'm going to say Jeff Tate is a slightly stronger vocalist on Operation Mindcrime than James LaBrie. James LaBrie, in my opinion, was slightly past his prime in terms of vocals. He really messed up his vocals throughout Falling Into Affinity, that sort of area. I think he blew his vocal cords out. But James LaBrie's vocals are still absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to give 2 points for Dream Theater, which makes it 10-6, and 4 points for Queensrÿche, Operation Mindcrime. Jeff Tate's vocals are absolutely flawless on this. Leads to progressive. How progressive are these albums? I feel that Dream Theater Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from Memory, gets an edge for this particular slot in the competition. So I'm going to give 5 points for Dream Theater, which makes it 15-10. Operation Mindcrime moves on more on the influence heavy metal. At times it does sound like Iron Maiden, especially the vocal work, especially the guitar riffs. So it's more on the traditional heavy metal side, but still they execute it fantastically. So I'm also going to give 3 points for the regressive metal element. So now it leads to 15-13. So now we move on to the overall songs. Granted, we're not going to include the interludes in Operation Mindcrime. Operation Mindcrime is an absolutely fantastic album from start to finish, an amazing story. The production is incredible. We're talking about Revolution Calling. Revolution Calling is a fantastic way to kick off the album. The first 2 tracks are basically instrumentals, are basically interludes towards Revolution Calling. It's got an amazing chorus, the guitar work is fantastic, it's incredible solos, and Jeff Tate's vocals are amazing on this. Overall, Revolution Calling is a great song, and I really do enjoy it. It's a great way to kick off the album for Operation Mindcrime. Also tells a really good story as well, and not to mention the drums on this are absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to give Revolution Calling 2 points. So that leaves Dream Theater's Regression. It's a 2-minute song overall, but there are some really nice acoustic guitar tones. James LaRue's vocals are fantastic on this, and the overall progression of this song is fantastic, which leads on to Overture 1928. Yes, I'm going to include Regression just because it does tell this story. He's talking to his psychiatrist. But yeah, Regression's really good overall, but I'm just going to give 1 point for Dream Theater, which makes it 16-15. So now we move on to Operation Mindcrime. Operation Mindcrime! Operation Mindcrime is such a great song overall. It's terrific. The progressive elements on this, the great solos, and just the high octane moments. It's great. Jeff Tate's vocals are fantastic on this. Really love the head voice he uses on this particular song. And yeah, Operation Mindcrime is one of my favorite songs off the album. So you get 3 points for Operation Mindcrime. Then we move on to Scene 2, 1 Overture 1928. Overall, this is Dream Theater's, could you say, consolation prize. Like, the melodies are intertwined within this particular song, telling a great story overall. Every single melody you hear on Overture is featured on this album once again. Something that Operation Mindcrime don't really do. They don't really repeat the melodies. Unlike Dream Theater from Scenes from Memory, it reminds you that, yeah, this story is just going full bore. And yeah, this is a great song overall. Amazing guitar solo by John Petrucci. The drum fills are absolutely fantastic on this. And what can I say? Overture 1928 is just terrific. So I'm going to give 2 points for Overture 1928, which makes it 18-all. So now we move on to Speak to Me. Speak to Me is great. It really is. At times it this song doesn't really flow with the chorus to verses, but I do love the different register layered vocals on this. Another great guitar work on this, and just overall really epic moments, and the songwriting's fantastic. Speak to Me is at least one of my favorite songs off the album, but it has really grown on me. So I'm going to give Queensrÿche Operation Mindcrime Speak just 1 point. Now we move on to Dream Theater Scene 2, Strange Deja Vu. This is a great song overall, running about 5 minutes, incredibly progressive metal elements on this and odd time signatures that really throw the listener off guard at first listen. James LeBrie's vocals are absolutely fantastic, and Strange Deja Vu creates this element of surprise. And again, it tells a great story. A lot of story progression on this, a lot of strong moments as well. But yeah, Strange Deja Vu is a really good song overall. So I'm going to give it 2 points, which makes it 20. Dream Theater, Queensrÿche 19. We move on to Spreading the Disease. Spreading the Disease is fantastic. High octane drumming on this. Love the drum fills and the odd time signatures. And the guitar work is absolutely fantastic. Spreading the Disease is easily one of the best songs off the album. So I'm going to give this 3 points, which makes it Queensrÿche leading 22-20. This is a head-to-head at the moment, so we're going to skip through my words, but it again does tell quite a good story on Through My Words, but we're going to skip that, and we are now looking at Scene 3-2, Fatal Tragedy. This is easily one of Dream Theater's best songs to date. Absolutely love it. Just the down spiraling guitar rhythms, the riffs are absolutely fantastic. This is easily one of the best songs off this album. But Dream Theater, Scenes from Memory, just keeps kicking into overdrive. And yeah, the next song is just out of this world, but I'm going to give this 3 points to Dream Theater, which makes Dream Theater leading 23-22. So now we move on to The Mission by Queensrÿche's Operation Mindcrime. The Mission is a great song overall. There's a lot of layering factors on this, great drumming, and Jeff Tate's vocals are very good on this. Again, tells that story about the revolution rising, talking about some sinister monster called Dr. X or Mr. X. But yeah, The Mission's a good song, so I'm going to give this 3 points, which makes it 23-25, with Queensrÿche's outstanding score, 25-23, up by 2 points. Next up is Beyond This Life by Dream Theater. I tell you what an incredible song this is. This easily gets 4 points, which makes it 27-25. Easily, this is easily one of my favorite songs off the album. The odd time signatures, the crazy keyboard moments by Jordan Rudess and James LeBrie's vocals are absolutely fantastic. This is such story progression on this song as well. This is just terrific. The riffs, the melodies just really do get stuck in your head. There are some catchy odd time signature moments on this. It's just terrific. Beyond This Life gets 4 points. So now it leads on to 20. So now Dream Theater leads 27-25, up by 2 points. Next up is Operation Mindcrime's masterpiece. It's Sweet Sister Mary. The cool piano work on this is absolutely fantastic. The melodies are great. It feels like you are just walking into this house, realizing whether Mary is still alive. Sweet Sister Mary is fantastic. The melodies are fantastic, but that snare, man, that snare is just terrific. I'm awarding Queensrÿche 5 points for Sweet Sister Mary, which makes it 30-27 Queensrÿche favor. This is a great song overall. It's just terrific. It really is. I just love how different this song is as well. It's quite slow, it's quite doomy, it's got that sort of King Diamond-esque feel as well, which I absolutely love, and Jeff Tate's vocals are absolutely fantastic. Now we move on to Through Her Eyes, a fantastic ballad by Dream Theater. Absolutely adore it. I'm awarding Dream Theater for Through Her Eyes 3 points, just because it's just such a fantastic song. It's definitely telling the life of Victoria, what has happened to her, and Through Her Eyes is just incredible. It really is. The beautiful acoustic guitar by John Petrucci, the epic moments as well. It's just a great ballad overall. So Through Her Eyes, and it's equaled the score 30 all. So now we go to The Needle Lies. The Needle Lies is a fantastic song overall. I'm going to give it 2 points for The Needle Lies. Needle Lies is a really uplifting song, definitely tells that story as well, building up to Electric Wickham and Breaking the Silence. This is when the individual absolutely goes insane after looking at the corpse of Mary and realizes that Dr. X isn't who Dr. X is. So Needle is a really good song, very catchy, 2 points it deserves. We go to Home. Home's fantastic, easily gets 5 points. 5 points for Gryffindor. I mean, scenes from a memory. Home is just terrific. It's got some cool intercontinental vibes. It even got a Tool vibe as well. It's got some great syncopatic riffs. It's got some amazing inserts as well. And also James LaBrie's vocals are fantastic. The drumming's fantastic. Odd time signatures, just terrific. So yeah, 5 points for Home. So now we move on to Breaking the Silence. Breaking the Silence. Breaking the Silence. What an incredible song this is. Absolutely adore it. I think this is easily one of Queensrÿche's best songs off the album. Of the band's discography is quite weak in my opinion. I think Operation Mindcrime is just stellar for Queensrÿche. And Queensrÿche Breaking the Silence is incredible. That's why it's getting 5 points. So it leads to 35 to 37. And Queensrÿche is leading at the moment. Not to mention you get a great guitar solo on Breaking the Silence. We lead on to the Dance of Eternity. Dance of Eternity, 6-minute wankfest. It really is. The instrumentals are fantastic on this. Again, it tells that story. It really tells that story of the past life of Victoria. Dance of Eternity has some really spiraling great guitar riffs, some odd time signatures, some really cool classical keyboard, classical piano by Jordan Brutus, and it's just a great instrumental that lasts about 6 minutes, but definitely tells a story. So I'm going to reward Dance of Eternity 5 points, which makes it 40 to 37. So next up is I Don't Believe in Love. I don't believe in love's really good power ballad by Queensrÿche. This is a very good song overall. Definitely a lot of emotion is conveyed throughout this song, and I gotta say, it is an absolute banger. I'm going to give Queensrÿche Operation Mindcrime 5 points, which makes Queensrÿche leading 40 to 42. So next up we get One Last Time. One Last Time, a great ballad overall by Dream Theater. It's a power ballad. There are some great riffs on this. It's not really a power ballad, you could say, but it's a lot slower song, a lot more less high octane song on this album. But it's good. It's a very good, quick song as well, and not to mention they repeat the melodies from Overture 1928. I'm going to give Dream Theater 5 points for this, so 45 to 42. Now, Waiting for 22 is an instrumental, is an interlude, and also My Empty Room, also a short song, 1:32. But I'm going to give My Empty Room just 1 point, which makes it 45 to 43, just because it does continue that progression of the story where he's in that mental institution. But yeah, My Empty Room is a good build up to Eyes of a Stranger. So now we move on to The Spirit Carries On. I gotta say, The Spirit Carries On is amazing, especially when you see it live. I wish I could see Dream Theater perform Spirit Carries On. It is terrific. The guitar solos on this, just a pure emotion by James LaBrie. Yeah, 5 points for this. So it leads 50 to 43. So Dream Theater really steaming along here. So 50 to 43. The Spirit Carries On, such an amazing song overall, and again tells that story. So 50 to 43 it is. Alright, next up is Eyes of a Stranger. Eyes of a Stranger, a great way to end off the album. Very catchy. Great solos on this, great riffing, and Jeff Tate's vocals are absolutely amazing on this. I'm going to give Eyes of a Stranger 5 points, which makes it 50 to 48. So in all honesty, Dream Theater has won this competition, But now we move on to Finally Free. Finally Free, what a way to end off the album. The conclusion is just mind-blowing. It really is, especially the ending where the psychiatrist says, "Open your eyes, Nicholas," and probably has killed Nicholas. You really need to listen to this album over and over again to really enjoy it. But Finally Free is amazing. The drumming on this is incredible. Just the overall balance, the instrumentals are amazing. James LaBrie's vocals are fantastic as well. So I'm going to give Dream Theater's Finally Free 10 points. All right, which makes it 60-48. Well, that's it. Dream Theater, Scenes from a Memory, has won this battle at 60-48. They win by 12 points. Yeah, this was quite fun. 60-48. Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from a Memory. So yeah, let me know what albums you want me to compare next. What albums will enter this huge Legion League? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.